Learning objectives include use of chemicals as antimicrobial agents. Chemicals are antimicrobial. There are various chemicals available. And it should be noticed that when we use chemicals, there has to be certain concentration of those chemicals. And sometimes the chemicals achieve sterilization, but most of the time it is disinfection. So that means most of the time when we use chemicals, especially on the skin or on the objects, it is disinfection. But there are situations where they can completely eliminate the organisms. So organic presence of organic matter, presence or absence of organic matter, pH, and time, these are the factors that influence their efficacy. Ideally, a chemical antibacterial should have these properties, that it should be effective at low concentration, because obviously when we need more concentration, that means we need more money. And it should be non-toxic to the body. The concentration that is required to kill the organism, it should not harm the body if used on the body. And it should be effective in the presence of organic matter. And it should have a broad spectrum of activity, that it should be able to kill many species, including spores, fungi, algae, and all kinds of microbes, viruses. Now, the first chemicals that were used as an antibacterial agent was phenol, basically, by Joseph Lister back in 1700 somewhere. Still is used. It disrupts plasma membrane. That is the way of the mechanism of action. It is effective in organic matter. So this is a beautiful property, that it is effective in the presence of organic matter. And that is the reason it could be used in situations where there's pus, especially in hospitals where you have operated a person having a pus. There is a bacteria that are in the saliva, like when you go to the doctor uses the same thermometer here in Pakistan for every single patient. But that if one person is infected with some disease or some organism, that use of the same thermometer can lead to infection. So in those situations, when we know that the organism is secreted in the saliva, we need to sterilize or to use an antibacterial agent like phenol. And it could also be used in the organisms that are released normally after the infection in the feces. So there's a fecal contamination of the environment, and we want to clean it, so we would use phenolic compounds. This is a cresol, which is basically a derivative of this phenol, is also very commonly used in hospitals and as an antiseptic. Bisphenol is another chemical, and hexachlorophene and triclosan are the examples. And this also disrupts plasma membrane. When we say plasma membrane, the lipid is a very important component of plasma. So if the lipid is gone, the membrane gets broken and the organisms die. So this is the way these various chemicals that target the plasma membrane kill them. These are the examples here. Bis basically means two. So basically, these are two phenols connected together through a bridge. And these compounds have various properties. We know that they are used as an antibacterial agents. But various compounds are created for their effectiveness. Some in organic matters, some has pleasant odor, and that is their property that we use. And some are non-toxic. Phenol is basically very toxic. So we create, or chemists create new compounds with different properties. So here the two phenolic molecules are joined by a bridge, and this is called hexachlorophene, and there is another one here, triclosan. They're used for various antibacterial purposes. Biguanides is another chemical, and chlorhexidine and alexidine, these are the examples. Chlorhexidine is very commonly used for skin scrubbing before surgery. I mean, if the surgeon has to open the abdominal cavity for certain surgery, they use this chlorhexidine combined with the detergent sometimes to clean the skin of the free from organism. Although, as I mentioned, that these are antiseptic, they don't clean They don't remove or eliminate all bacteria, but they reduce them significantly, so they are not really able to cause infection after the surgery. This also disrupts plasma membrane. Halogens is another group of chemicals like iodine and chlorine used for antibacterial activities. Tincture of iodine is when we mix iodine in alcohol, it becomes a tincture, and that's very commonly used in hospitals. Iodo-4, basically, when we combine this iodine with an organic molecule, that molecule basically traps iodine and it releases it slowly, so it stays there for a longer time. Again, this iodine alters protein synthesis and also damages membrane. So this is the way they are effective. Chlorine, we see bleach, very common household thing. This is also, this has antibacterial activity. So most of the time we use for cleaning, even in laundry as well. They act by oxidizing various ingredients or various molecules of the cells. So in summary, there are chemicals, lots of chemicals are available. Most of them are used as disinfectant. So their use as disinfectant or antiseptic, it all depends on which object, inanimate or animate object we're using.